Hey, good morning. Carl Munson here from expatsportugal.com with the Good Morning Portugal show. Hola, bon dia, alegria. How are you today? So, how many people are putting 15 keens in the comments? If you're wondering what on earth they're doing, it is because I laid down a challenge yesterday, and this was it. Let me just find the right slide for that. Look at this. Look at Mia looking at you there. The walk of shame past your Portuguese textbooks. Did you do your 15 minutes of Portuguese? Can't hear me. No, why is that? Oh, no, really? Is that everybody or just you, Deagle, I wonder? Let's have a look. I need to find out if it's just Deagle who can't hear me or if it's other people, because I definitely checked today, and everything seems to be right as far as I can see. But so I need some help in the comments, please. Can you hear me all right? I can hear you. Oh, Deagle, don't do that to me, you rascal. I double checked everything this morning. The best material was coming out, and then Deagle sends me I can hear you, I hear you. Oof. Deagle, don't do that, you rascal. That's a good way to wind me up. If ever you want to, okay, just say I can't hear you. And I'll never really know, will I, if you're winding me up or not. Okay, calma, tranquilo. And let's have a look to see who's done their 15 this morning. So that was the suggestion yesterday. Let's all do 15 minutes of learning Portuguese a day. Who's done it? Let's find out. Andrea's in the comments already. Beautiful Tuesday. Happy Tuesday from beautiful Castelo Branco. Wishing everyone a fantastic day. How is it over there in Castelo Branco? Looking pretty lovely, I have to say, here on the Silver Coast this morning. Slightly damp in the air, autumnal morning. I think it's going to give way to a beautiful day. Thunder's here. Bon dia, alegria, meus amigos. Very good. I think he's been looking at his Portuguese textbooks, has he not? We renegotiated our lease to a lower price. Way! Got the owner to make some changes and extended the contract for 2 more years. We're here to stay, folks. That's the great news from Lisboa this morning. Viva Portugal. Very good. Very good. Excellent. That is wonderful news, says Andrea. I would agree. And maybe we need some tips from you with that, Thunder, the process of renegotiating your lease. You got some changes made as well. That's fantastic. So lower price and changes, and they're there for 2 more years. That's fantastic. Morning all from Casa Henry. How's it going? From the Algarve, orange growing area of Algoz. SB, what is that? SB Messina Santa something or other, isn't it? I would have thought. Off to buy some plants in Montchique today. You lucky people. So I hope all is well. It sounds like a near full recovery has been made there, and may that trajectory continue there for you both at Casa Henry. Parabéns to Thunder Duck on that news. Yeah, great. And James is saying, Bon dia, todos. This morning, very good. But no 15s yet. So let's have a look in these comments. What's going on? It's another gorgeous day in Ericeira, says James. And I think some pics are coming through. Or, no, that's just that message to say, can't hear you. Deagle winding me up there. I've got a couple of permissions I'm looking for because there were some great pictures sent in yesterday, but I wasn't exactly sure if I could share them. So if you're watching, waiting for your picture, please double check that it's okay to share it. And when you send in pics, it's always great to say, yeah, Cole, go ahead, share it. Yes, Portuguese here. Look, Bon dia, alegria, tudo de uma Amsterdam chavosa. So rainy Amsterdam this morning, infelizmente. Estou a trabalhar e não posso juntar-me a vivo. So Matty can't join live because he's got that blooming work thing getting in the way. Tenho de apanhar replay mais tarde hoje. He's going to watch us later on today. Very good. Very good. Love the extra effort you go to, Matty, to talk to us in Portuguese there. And he's asking Andrea, of course, as well, if you've got any property viewings. How is the property search going, Andrea and Tom? Jim White. Hello, Jim. Bon dia, todos from Jim. Bon dia, Carl. So, Deagle, you have redeemed yourself there. So you did do your 15 minutes yesterday. That's good. You won't get that look from Mia there. You don't want that. she's looking at you. She knows she can see into your soul if you've been practicing Portuguese or not. Digo, now 15 minutos, 15 minutos. Nassau, menos de 10 agora. Good vibes. So it looks like more like 10 for Matty. I did mine. Oh, no, 6. 6 minutos for Matty this morning. No, 5 or 5. Was that more, is that 5 minutes more, or you've only done 5 minutes? I snuck mine in before the show. I lost track of it yesterday, but was listening to my go-to, which is, I can't hear it enough. I always hear something new, and that's Mia's. Is it 35 phrases? Useful phrases, really good. And her singing happy birthday. And then a video of Mia's, where she's talking about, don't keep saying de nada, don't use other phrases as well. But it was all in Portuguese. It was really above my head. So I went to the elementary stuff and did my 15. You'll be glad to hear. I've got a lead from the front, haven't I? Bom dia, alunos da língua portuguesa. So good day to... is that everyone learning Portuguese this morning from Eusebio? 4 minutes. Oh, this is the countdown, isn't it? Not how long Matty's been learning his Portuguese yesterday. Bom dia, Eusebio. Midlife crisis world tour from Matty to you, Eusebio. Stephen! A typical man cave greeting there. And everyone's saying hello. And he's changing. Deutsch. Oh, so he is counting down, sorry. Francis Gersbach. Bon dia, alegria a todos. Hope you're all good this Tuesday. It is a sunny and warm, but windy Cape Town this morning. 1 minute to go. Thank you for that. It helps with people who need to get a grasp of the numbers, I guess. And great news, says Stephen to Thunder, about your new lease arrangement there. I think, yeah, thanks, everyone. We're happy about this, says Thunder. And yes, your negotiating skills are obviously pretty keen. The art of the deal, etc. 0 minutos, but aiming for 15. I also got out of the habit, need to pick it up again. So hopefully this is going to be a good initiative to get everybody learning their Portuguese. And maybe we'll work our way to being even more bilingual. And we ever make a little bit of an effort, don't we, here in the mornings? But maybe we'll go into being pretty much a bilingual show within a year or 2 or 5, 10. Bon dia alegria from Mark in Norfolk in the UK as well. And it's a fingers crossed for Andrea with the house hunt there. So are you focusing on the Castelo Branco area, Andrea and Tom? Nothing wrong with that, of course. Yes, it is. We really love it. And is that... an answer already to my question about Castelo Branco. Morning all from Elra in Finland. Good morning to you. Wow, 10 hours is a lot of work. Definitely need organic lawnmowers. What did I miss there? Who's been working for 10 hours on their homestead there? Or is that the sheep that's being talked about, the organic lawnmowers? Yes, second week, and no more property viewings, but we really like one property. So we're in contact with our buying agent, hoping to know more today. Excellent news there from Andrea and for Tom there. And the congratulations are still coming in for Thunder and the 2-year lease and the extension of the lease and the reduced price there in Lisboa. Tom is here. Good morning, Matty. Good morning, everybody. Yes, it's Melanie indeed. I think I'm missing comments here. I don't know who Melanie is, and I don't know why the 10 hours is a lot of work. Well, it is. I don't dispute it, but I'm not sure what the context is for that. Good morning, everyone from Gemini Bradshaw. I'm feeling left out of my own show here. I don't understand what's going on. Bon dia, kids. I like how she calls us kids from Brilliantly Sunny. Shocking, I know. Just rubbing it in just a little bit there, Victoria? Praia de Rocha. Cheers, Wampam. Thank you, man, for that. Yes, it is huge. Goats and pigs for the lawns. Okay, so now we're putting the pieces together. This might be the big place that Andrea and Tom are looking at up there in central Portugal. Okay, I've talked to Melanie before, but coincidentally, we saw her in person on a random campus spot. What are the odds? I don't know, and I still don't know who she is. I can hear you. Thank you very much for that. That anxiety is now past. I've let that go. 45 minutes yesterday of learning Portuguese. Very good, James. Excellent effort. What resources were you using, member James? Yes, I did 20 yesterday. The challenge got me back on track. So good. We will stay with that then. Okay, it's not just for it's like a dog, not just for Christmas. Learning Portuguese isn't just for yesterday on a Monday in a fit of pique. 15 minutes a day, everybody. That's what I think we agreed to, right? So I'm going to stick to that and do my utmost, and I hope you can too. You're fine. Isn't it nice to hear that? Isn't it just nice to get that affirmation every now and then? You're fine. Thanks, Eusebio. You're fine too, man. For some reason, the shoe won't play on my phone. I guess that's a sign to get to work. It could be, couldn't it? Or your boss just telling you to crack on and get on with it. Oh, I was just looking out a window, and there is a sort of procession of mobile homes coming into the nearby campsite in San Martino de Porto. I think they're undergoing a major refurb now that they've shut down the season for 2021. And I think all these timber homes, these timber mini homes, tiny houses, keep coming in from Spain. They have a like a pilot at the front of them, a little white van with a flashing light, and then it looks like a human snail with this a lorry with a big house on its back. I actually thought it was the ginger cat from next door, because yesterday afternoon I was getting ready for the gardening Q&A. Great show yesterday, folks. For those of you who are here on the gardening Q&A yesterday, loads of lovely pictures, and I think I'll show a couple this morning of praying mantises. Those were fantastic pictures. But around that time, the ginger cat, I thought he was at the window again, and I was going to invite him in and show him to you. But anyway, yeah, get back to work, Matty, and thank you everybody who could say they could hear me. So there you go. Francis can hear you. Jim can hear you. Hearing you well, says Coach Turner there. Morning, Ian. Have you joined Facebook now? And then can't hear you. Stop it, Deagle, with you can't hear you business. Good morning. You are loud and clear. In Gaelish. Great part of the world. That's a lesser known little suburb of the Silver Coast, not far from Obidush there, in case you didn't know. And hearing it now. Come on, Deagle. What was it, I wonder? Elra, Healthy Move Portugal, Matty, of course, bon dia to you. Bon dia from Lynn as well. Lynn and Zizenis, good day to us. Bon dia, have a great day. Thank you very much. And a lovely canoe shot there. And you got your dog with you out canoeing or paddleboarding there. Fantastic. Tina's also here. Hello, Tina. Tina Janine Atkinson. What's going on there then? Some wine being imbibed there with a simple hi from you this morning. And a bon dia from Pamela Smith. Now, this is a great moment to announce a new feature I have. Pam doesn't even know about this, so I hope she will forgive me for springing this upon her. New idea, folks. We have this incredible resource. Here they are. Look, the Ask Our Expats team. Okay, it's a feature of the work we do at Expats Portugal. And there's a tab on the Expats Portugal website where you can click on Ask Our Expats and you can talk to these people. Look, Thomas, who's been here over on the right there since 2018. Sally, of course, many of you know, works with the team here, part of the team at Expats Portugal, Expats since 2014. Pam, 2015, over there in Alcobaça, and Maria, Tamar area, 2018. And of course, our honorary expat. She's Portuguese. She's not an expat. She's actually Portuguese, but she's so helpful and an honorary part of the team. Ask the people who live here. Have you got a question for these folks? Pop it in the comments now, and I'll get back to you. I'll tell you when it's answered by these lovely people. Excuse me, what's that repeating on me this morning? I will get back to you with their answer, okay? So here we go. Look, here's the ticker tape for that. Ask the expats, experts on life in Portugal. These are the people who live here. If you've got a question for them, ask it now in the comments, and I'll see it gets to them. And I'll be back with an answer to that. And for example, what's the best? I'm still not sure if I'm going to buy a coffee machine or not. It's Consumer Tuesday, by the way, here on the Good Morning Portugal show. And Michael Heron was kind of edging me towards buying one. I'm thinking, do I want all that plastic waste and nonsense? Will I be drinking more coffee if I get a coffee machine? That's for sure, right? I will do. I'm still not, and very nearly bought one. But then I stalled. I saw there's a machine that takes all the cartridges, and I'm thinking that's clever, but it probably doesn't work. Do you have one of those? So I'll put that to all of you, but I will put that to the Ask Our Expats team, and I'll ask them personally myself, which coffee machine do they favour? And there's another one. This is a bit specialist, and this is for people who've been here for a while. If you are well, you will be a NIF number, a proud NIF number owner, and you give your NIF number and you claim your allowances on the Finanzas portal, the AT portal. Do you need to keep your receipts? Or is the whole point of giving your country Brent number that you don't have to keep receipts? Is there any point, Ask Our Expats team, in keeping receipts in Portugal? Because I know people from other cultures, from UK, you keep all your receipts and you stuff them in a plastic bag, and then the bookkeeper or the accountant says, "Oh dear, can you not make a better job of filing these?" And then some years it's better than others, and you give them to them filed and stapled together and stuff. And you keep them, don't you, for 5 years because you're supposed to for taxation purposes. And no one ever looks at them, but they might one day. Here in Portugal, because of the NIF system and the portal and the way that the allowances are claimed, do you need to keep receipts? That's my question to you. Ask our expats. Pam might know that, and she's here this morning. So there you go. New feature. Ask our expats. Just pop it in the comments below, and we'll get the hang of this. And I will ask them, and then I'll get back to you on it on another day of the week. Nope. Can't get the show to work. Only loads one image, then stops. Must be my connection. No worries. We'll catch replay. Have fun. I have a new connection. I'm now coming to you via the power of Mayo and not Nosh. We had Nosh, the residual system in the house, and now we switched over to Mayo yesterday. Pretty seamlessly. Pedro was very good, I have to say. He couldn't put the kind of terminal in the room that I wanted and suggested I used a D-Link. Are they called repeaters? They're probably not in this day and age, but the distribution system that spreads your signal throughout the house. He recommended that, but it was very quick and easy fiber installation. And of course, today on Consumer Tuesday, we will be looking at the Expats Choice nominations, of course, as well. And if you want to do that, if you want to contribute towards the Expats Choice nominations, goes to expatschoiceportugal.com and you can fill that form in. And I will ongoingly on a Tuesday share the results. What's the best coffee? What's the best beer? Who is the best bank? And the best bank is by far, well, not, it's probably the most popular, not because it's the best, but the one most people use, if that makes sense. And I'll be coming back to that. And of course, Ben will be dropping in from Spartan FX this morning as well. And we'll have a chat about world politics and what the guys at the Spartan FX office are keeping their eye on in terms of world affairs and geopolitics that might have an impact on the currency. Because I think people who've got pounds at the moment are feeling quite pleased with themselves, aren't they? But we shall see about that when Ben joins us a little bit later on. So that's to come. Plus a few of your photos, praying mantises, all that kind of business as well. Marcus Valbon is here. Bon dia in Romanian means Bunăseara, Carl Fofinho. I think you liked my Fofinho story yesterday, didn't you? So you're talking to us in Romanian and Portuguese this morning. Very good. I deserve the look. Okay, so you asked for it, you get it from Mia. Here's the look coming now. Yep. No, I don't know. Maybe some people do like to get that look, but do your 15 minutes of Portuguese anyway, folks. Okay, and you can have the look as well. Maybe if you like that look, you can have it as a reward for doing your 15 minutes. So yeah, 45, 45 for James. Very good. Teacher's pet, Mia's pet there. And everyone, Andy Gilchrist, he's sending me photos as well. I can see them popping up. That's great. Thank you very much for that, Andy. And nice helmet, as I'm sure you're used to hearing. But what is the significance of that in your YouTube picture there? Eusebio, Alona, students. Okay, thank you for that. So good morning, Portuguese students. He was saying, isso tem sido parte de sus 15 por dia. What does it mean? What does it mean? Please translate that as well. I'm really bummed. Is that the right word? By my inability. I think I get in the headlights. That's going to be my excuse. Okay, I see that on the screen there. I can see 15, and I know I know what that means. A day, por dia, perhaps. Tem, hold, but I just can't put that all together. Help me out there, Eusebio, if you will. Bon dia. Bon dia, non? A bit of French in there as well. Yesterday, so 30. Oh, not yesterday. It's a non yesterday and 30 minutes today. Okay, well, that's good. So double or quits for Jackie there. And Jackie, I think it was you that sent me the picture of the textbook, wasn't it? So you've got quite a complex setup going on there. The best of intentions, clearly. However, where's that photo gone now? I want to read out what you sent to me because I thought it was very funny yesterday. But I can't find it now. Oh, for heaven's sakes. Oh, we're trying. Yes, there you go. Hi, Carl. We're using a combination of Practice Portuguese. That's Roy and Joel, isn't it? And I interviewed them a long time ago. Yes, they're very good, Roy and Joel. Mere basic 100 European phrases. And this book we picked up in Continent. Can't understand a single word. Made it to page 3 using Deeple. This is going to be a long journey. Well, I take my hat off to you buying Eureka Grammatica Pratica and the Primero Ciclo there. So well done to you. And you got 20% discount on it on this Consumer Tuesday. An eye for a bargain in the continent there. So yeah, 30 minutes for you today. Okay, we'll come back to your comments and we'll find out if you have been doing your 15 minutes or not, because Ben's just warming up in the green room from Spartan FX. We'll have a quick chat with him about what's going on with currency around the world. No sooner did I show her a picture than she shows up. Did you see that, Maria, in the comments there or on the screen? In fact, I have a new feature. Ask our expat. So there's Maria. She's twice on the screen now, and she says, "Good morning from Tamar. I've yet to give my NIF on any personal purchase, but it's something I should consider doing, even if only to get entered into the giveaways." Yeah, you can win a car. You can win a car apparently every month as well. So and that's the way of getting tax allowances as well in the portal there, in the AT portal. We will come back to your excellent comments. Thank you everybody for those and fessing up whether you did or didn't do your Portuguese. Come back to those, because now on the screen, welcoming him from London in Her Majesty's United Kingdom, it's Ben Spartan FX. Hello, mate. How are you?
Hello, Carl. Yeah, very good. Yourself? It's been too long since I've
It has been a while, hasn't it? I think you've been on holiday. I think you've been on holiday since I last spoke to you. Where'd you go?
I went to Spain with the kids for 10 days, which was lovely. Nice hotel. Do you know, it was the first holiday we'd had in 2 years with the pandemic. So it was nice to get away. Had to have a bit of a break. It's been non-stop here. So yeah, it was lovely and nice to get a nice bit of sun, which I'm sure you guys are used to.
Well, we won't rub it in. It's looking like it's going to be a nice day here today. How's it looking in London?
Grey, miserable, rainy. It's actually quite mild. It's like, I think it's about 19, but it's raining as it always is.
Well, so, I'm glad you had a break. I'm glad you had a break, and I hope you weren't answering your phone, because you got told off for that, didn't you? Taking calls for currency inquiries at 11 o'clock at night.
I get told off regularly for not winding down. So yeah, do you know what it is? If I go away in the UK and just away for a couple of days, I can never turn off. But this was like the first time where I think actually I try not to look at my phone for about a week. So it was nice. Well and we've got a great team here who cover everything when I'm not around. So
of course,
they're awesome. Yeah,
you and they are legends in our community, and it's mutual. Sarah was saying how much she likes working with Expats Portugal people, and they say how much they like working with you. What's going on? How are the currencies looking this morning?
I was going to say to you, we do like working with them, and I've noticed more recently when I speak to people for the first time, I get phrased as the famous Ben. So I don't know what you and Sarah have been talking about me, but I'm known as the famous Ben, which is great.
You are. So, you are that guy. You are that guy.
Yeah, exactly. So currencies, which is what we do. Very, very good time to be buying euros. Really, the dollar is US dollar, very attractive. Still about 5 cents better than the 5 or 6 cents stronger than the worst times in May. Although it has dipped off the last couple of days, but still about 116.5. The Canadian dollar has been doing excellent against the euro. I looked this morning, about 1.43.5, the best level since February 2020, if you're buying euros. So very good again. And then even the pound has gone up to about 118.30, 118.5 recently. So again, some of the best levels since February last year for buying euros. So anyone looking at moving, maybe doing their golden visas before some of the rules change towards the end of the year, fantastic timing. Fortunate. Very, very good. And then just in general, if you're moving money, the rates always have their peaks and troughs, and at the moment the euro's under a little bit of pressure. It's just been weakening off, so people moving in there can capitalize quite nicely, so it's great.
Get your red braces on, everybody, and you can feel like a super trader on the currency today. You see, you are famous. Look at this. Hola, Ben. Talk to you from Santa Rosa, California, when I broke Facebook. You're the guy who broke Facebook the other way. Your help was incredibly helpful. I'm all set up end to end now. Obrigadissimo to you.
Yes. Hello, James. Hi. Yes, we have got you all set up, and it must be very, very late there, I would imagine.
He's here now. He's here in Portugal.
Oh, he's here. Sorry, he said in California.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right,
No, he's made the move. He's made the move, and you're part of the help with that. And of course, what I should have said is Portugal next year, right, for your holiday. And I'm sure that there will be even people who are going to be offering you their annex because
I was
of
going to say, I don't think I need to spend any money in a hotel anymore if I come to Portugal.
No, I would hope
That's
not.
if they want to put up with me. That's if they want to put up with me and two screaming kids. Once we're there for one night, they might.
Well, you're not selling it. You're not selling it, really. If you want to welcome Mrs. Ben, and they're two delightful children, I'll rephrase and reframe that. You know what to do. So I know you guys at the office, you'll be thinking about geopolitics. You know what's going on in the world, in significant elections. What is making you twitchy, if anything, at the moment, and what do you think is going to cause changes to a slightly weak euro at the moment?
Well, look, in the EU, obviously, that you've just had Angela Merkel that's left. There's pressure on many of the governments. You could even argue over in the UK, but I'd be surprised if Boris Johnson gets ousted anytime soon. Over in the US, there's certainly a lot of pressure. I think there'll be a lot of pressure on Biden over the coming months and the next year. There's some analysts asking, will he go full term or not? I mean, he certainly comes out with some clangers, right? So it will be interesting.
We might have to translate that because that could mean all sorts of things, Ben, right?
Right. So some of the comments that he comes out with, I think the press in other countries, I don't know what it's like in the US because we're not there, but in the UK, they certainly they get on every single word that he says, and he's come out with some interesting things of late. Actually, I was speaking to one client who said. I was speaking to one client who said to me they wouldn't even be surprised if Donald Trump got back in if he ran for president next time. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens over there in the US.
Ben, you can't come on here saying stuff like that. You're going to wind everybody right up this morning.
Oh, I know. I never said it's my opinion. I didn't say it was my opinion. But it'll be the next year, and obviously we still don't really know how the pandemic's gonna unfold over the winter months. That can have a lot of pressure on governments because of just how they act to things. I mean, Australia at the moment. I mean, Canada. Some of the things that they're doing on the back of COVID. I mean, my brother-in-law's in Australia. I think a lot of them are still in lockdown. There's some very strict rules. People can't get in and out of the country. It's, for some people, causing a lot of unrest and making it very, very difficult, where others think it's what is needed. So, I think it's quite 50-50 with a lot of people. I mean, even with what we do, I was speaking to a client yesterday, said she just had to get out of Canada because of the way she didn't want to be locked up in her house. And then we get other people that think that's the way to go. So it's very 50-50, and it'll be interesting to see what happens governmental wise globally, really. And then let's say from an economic point of view, I think it's a similar story all around the world, really. Inflation is going up everywhere. People have less to spend. A lot of countries need to maybe hike interest rates, maybe. But when do they do it? If they do it too soon, can it set the economy back? Can countries go into recession? Or is it what is needed to kind of bring prices back? But even with an interest rate, like they're talking in the UK of hiking interest rates by 0.15%, which is one of the reasons why the pound has been rising a little of late against the euro. But is that going to stop the prices going up in the near term? I can't see it really, because you need your goods, you need it quickly. There's a lack of logistics at the moment, so it makes it very difficult. So I think prices are gonna remain high for the foreseeable, which makes it very difficult for people. I don't know, what's it like in Portugal with things like that? Prices going through the roof?
Fingers crossed, it all seems very stable at the moment. We don't encounter empty shelves. There don't seem to be supply chain problems. I mean, one of the great things about Portugal, I think, is it's a relatively small population. And I suppose in terms of distribution, 60% of the population, I think, is all focused on the two major towns and significant parts of the coast as well. So
yeah,
we seem to be free of many of the challenges that beset other people at the moment, and I guess that's what's making it such an attractive destination for
100%. Well,
North
I'm
Americans. Yeah.
yeah. Well, I'm very glad that yourself and all of our listeners haven't had to queue for 3 or 4 hours for fuel and petrol, or gas, as they call it in the US. So
Yes, that's right.
we,
Unimaginable, unimaginable. So
yeah,
you
unimaginable.
experienced that, did you?
I was actually on holiday when it happened, and then we came back. Unfortunately, I filled up the car before we left. But give it a couple of weeks, and I had to drive around. All the petrol stations were closed, and I think it was about 11:30 at night. A friend of mine sent me a WhatsApp, said, "There's a petrol station open about five miles away." So I quickly got in the car,
Wow,
zipped down at 11:30 at night, because the following morning the queues again for like 2 hours trying to get in, and then they
incredible.
run out or they close it. So yeah, it was difficult, but it seems to be back to normal now. So
There will be people in the Algarve just pouring a gin and tonic right now, thinking how
very
lucky they
much,
are
yeah,
when
very
they
much
get
so.
stuff like that. Incredible, Ben. Incredible. An
And it makes
amazing.
you think, why be in the UK when you can go to Portugal, right?
Well, you said it. You said it, not me. This morning,
Exactly.
I think North American people are feeling the same. One of them, who's already here now, of course, Khadijah's here. Stronger US dollar. Of course, I missed the best, but does Ben think it might get a teeny bit better soonish? So, I mean, it's so hard to call, isn't it?
It's always very hard to call, but in theory, we do foresee the dollar remaining strong. It could get slightly better. It's all at the there's a few different things which I've mentioned. If we look at it from an economic point of view, they have had some disappointing economic releases of late. Some things just missed expectation, but with inflation still going up, and there's a bit of a race, which central bank will hike interest rate first, the Fed, the Bank of England. There is still, I suppose, maneuver for it to for the dollar to strengthen. But where you have to be cautious is what is going to happen over the next 4 or 5 months with COVID. Is the pandemic? Is it? Are we going to get I don't know what wave we're on, a third wave, a fourth wave? Is that gonna hinder the dollar? Is that going to set it back slightly? That's the thing that we can't take into account. If we look at the UK, I think yesterday for the first time was over 50,000 new cases. Again, when I say for the first time in like a few weeks or however long it's been. So there is concerns that although the majority of people have been vaccinated, there is concerns that the rates of infections could go up again. And what do governments do? Do they let everyone keep going on about things? Will they have lockdowns again? So it's things like that can set the economy back, which is hard to predict. Which way the currency may go. But in general, I don't expect the dollar to weaken too much.
Okay, there you go. And this, of course, is not financial advice. We're just asking for an opinion there.
Correct.
And Ben prefaced that with "in theory," which is all you can do, really. Fan mail coming in. I love Spartan FX. Already feel like family working with Neil. He's great. So there's a famous Neil now as well, is there?
There's a famous Neil. Neil is one of my colleagues. He's very, very good. He's been doing it same as me. Well over 10, 12 years. Neil's been doing it now. I've been doing this for about 15, and his service is second to none, I would say. He's very good.
James would agree. And talking about the contrasting pictures of the UK and Portugal, for example, and Nigel has that experience. Carl, food is fine and shelves are full in the Algarve, but the price of wood, steel, and building materials has skyrocketed. I noticed that when I was buying some timber for a tabletop the other day. I like to get in Leroy Merlin's. That's the equivalent of B&Q over here, Ben. And it's true. I mean, so many things are made out of sterling board here, and a sheet of that now I think is 40 odd euros or something like that. Timber worldwide has gone way up.
Well, builders in the UK have experienced the exact same thing. They said the price of the materials, everything is up 30%. And I've heard stories of builders doing jobs, and over the last few months, I've had to put the prices up by like 20-30% because of the materials.
Yeah.
Which is a lot of money for people when you don't expect it.
Makes a big difference, doesn't it? And also, it can make all the difference for the builder if they've underquoted.
Yeah, very much so.
That's a big loss to take on board, isn't it?
Well, yeah, and you don't want to build a walking off the job, so
no, certainly not with half a roof. Okay,
exactly.
So finally, then, I mean, we've talked about the volatility. Victoria's talking about she uses Wise there. I set alerts for when to buy. We'll come to your strategy in just a moment. She also says Mondays are historically the best day of the week. That's interesting for getting a deal. Pete is saying, go on.
Read that. I was going to say I hear that. Well, no, I don't hear that. I get clients ask me all the time, is Monday the best day? Is a Friday better? Wednesday afternoons I've had. People have told me that's when the rates go up.
Always Wednesday afternoon.
Yeah. If only there was a set time of the week where we knew the rates were going to specifically go up or down, we would all be sailing around the South Pacific. Because we'd take our mortgages, we'd pump everything into it, and we'd make a lot of money. So unfortunately, with currency, there's so many different factors, as I said. So you've got like economic data, political instability, acts of God, terrorism that can all have an impact. And you never really know when there's going to be something that comes out or a comment. And,
Indeed.
the data can go either way. So I wish I could agree that Mondays are historically the best day, but it doesn't quite work like that.
Okay, or just go to bensoncurrencytrading.com where Monday's the best day of the week. It obviously works for Victoria there. Pete responding to that. Great call. Can't believe the pound is going up when the country's clearly headed in the opposite direction. Try getting hold of aluminium, etc. Which sounds like Pete's been trying to get hold of some. Anyone got any cheap aluminium? Got a punter in Pete there. Currencies are manipulated. Don't fight the trend, says Thunder. He's a cynic, isn't he? It's all a con game. Just have to figure out when to jump in and out. We brought out the worst in humanity here. It's going dark. It's going dark, Ben. What does Ben think the GBP will do against the euro? It's climbed recently. So do you see that trend continuing as well? Andy's asking.
Yeah, I see it remaining in the high teens. And the main reason, again, why the pound has risen is on the back of the expectation that the Bank of England are going to hike interest rates. They're not going to do it. They're not going to hike significantly, but they're talking about 0.15%. And that's because inflation here is going so high. It is getting so high. We've got inflation figures out today. You had the member of the Bank of England yesterday said at some stage we will have to hike, but then an ex-member said, before you hike, you have to be very careful because you don't want to set the economy back and we hit a recession on the back of hiking rates too quickly. So we're at a knife edge. If they do, it's expected. If they don't do it over the next 2 or 3 months, you might actually find sterling just tails off marginally because they haven't hiked rates. But at some stage, it will happen and sterling will remain high. Whether it gets to 120, which is a big figure, is very debatable. But put it this way: at some stage over the next year or so, you could see it happening.
And who'd have thought it 6 months ago? You wouldn't have guessed that, would you?
No. Well, there's so many things that there's so many things at the moment that it's amazing how high the rate has gone, because you look at other parts of the economy and they're talking about a winter of discontent here. So that's the only thing. Like, will it remain at these levels for the foreseeable? It's a toss of a coin.
Amazing, isn't it? On the timber front, a good way of sourcing some timber is buy an ice lolly, and you get 25 euros of free wood with that. That's hilarious.
Might take you a long time to build a fence.
It's true, but every little bit helps at the moment at those prices, I think. And we can probably finish on Bitcoin. But strategies then, Ben. I mean, people obviously hearing the picture here, we all fancy ourselves sometimes, especially when we're winning, as speculators and traders, don't we? I've done pretty well this week. It's gone up a little bit, and I've done very nicely. Thank you very much. And then you lose out. It sounds like Pete is gutted. Transferred some last week. He could have waited, of course, and also with his his assessment of Boris there, he can't understand why the pound continues to go up. What are the ways of for your average person who doesn't want too much risk? What's the best way to set up with you to get the best rate and not to expose oneself to riskily?
So obviously, if they're looking at moving money fairly instantly, they can register with us. We can have the account set up straight away. We offer two types of contracts, but they can do a spot deal where we offer them a rate, they purchase the currency, and we move the money straight away. They know what they're in for. If you've got someone who's planning on moving over the next 2 or 3 months, maybe they don't have all of the funds available straight away, they can register with us. They can do something called a forward contract. So if they thought, well, the rates at the moment are so much better than I thought, I don't want the risk in 2 or 3 months when I have the rest of the money that the rate could go against me, they can buy now and pay later. As long as they have roughly a 10% deposit to put down, they can pay the other 90% by an agreed date in the future. And the rate is locked in. They have no risk. They know to the penny how many euros they're achieving at the rate that they're satisfied with. And it's a great way of them completely budgeting to say, this property has cost me so much in sterling, or my sterling here is getting me so many euros. And they know that everything that they want to do is then affordable, rather than they see the rate now, they have the money in 3 months, 4 months, 6 months. And if the rate is 3, 4, 5% lower, it can affect what they want to do. Not everyone looks at it in that way. Some are just would rather say, well, I'll wait till I've got the money. The rate might be 2 or 3 cents better, which granted it could be. But if you're running on a tight budget or you don't want risk, then that is an extremely good way of handling your currency transfer and your affairs, because you just know exactly what you're in for. And we do that for hundreds of clients all the time, because some just want to know what they're in for, which is great. Right. And in terms of one of my biggest tips, I suppose, certainly for a lot of our clients, because they are, moving from the other side of the world, is plan in advance as much as you can in terms of access to your accounts, being able, with your bank, I'm talking about access to your bank account, how you can move the funds. I've had, just yesterday, another example. I spoke to a client, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 months ago, moving from America, well, actually from Canada. And at the time I spoke to her, I said, look, just speak to your bank, find out how much they can send. It was all a whirlwind in the end, and she decided to just move within a 4 or 5 week period. And she came over to Portugal, contacted me. Her bank will not let her move more than 5,000 Canadian dollars a day online. Whereas she goes into the bank, she can do the whole lot. So before I spoke to her, I gave her some recommendations of banks she could move her funds to in total to be able to transfer a larger sum in one go. So she wasn't able to do that because she was too rushed. And now she's having to do the 5,000 a day, or trying to find a family member who can maybe go into the bank on her behalf with the power of attorney. So it gets a little bit messy. So the biggest tip for anyone in America and Canada, even Australia, New Zealand to a certain degree, plan in advance, speak to your bank, find out what access you have when you're not in the country. What can I do online? And then at least, and we can set you up with everything, provide you with all the details that you need to give to the bank before you leave. And we'll make sure there's no pitfalls that occur. Because otherwise, if you wanted to complete on a property, you don't want to get stuck where you have to specifically fly back. And it's not easy at the moment.
That's the worst case scenario, isn't it? That's not. You don't want to be doing that. So plan for the worst, hope for the best. Great advice, says Andy. Wise words from Ben. Planning is everything. So that could save some heartache there, Ben. Thank you very much for that. We had a quick question in from Gary. We will have to pay a deposit on a house in Portugal soon. Do we convert with Spartan and then place this in the Portuguese bank? I think psychologically people do leave money till the last because they think it's safe to do that, right? It's like the money's in the bank, let's leave it there, let's not mess about with it. But as you're saying, you can leave it too late and then end up with all these kind of transfer problems, logistics problems.
You can do. I mean, even some UK banks, they will have limits on the amount that you can do online. Not all of them, but some. But there's a lot of banks out there have a limit of £10,000 a day. Well, if you decided that you wanted to complete on a property for 200,000 or 300,000, you're doing that in a week's time, you've left it too late. Not many people leave it that late, granted, but there are some that do, and you just don't want any pitfalls. With regards to putting our service, if you're buying a property, you want to put a deposit down, we can we set you up with accounts specifically in your own name. So account numbers, sort codes, IBANs in your own name. You can open up an account with us. You can lodge the funds in there. Like, you can purchase the deposit, or you can leave just sterling sitting in your account. As soon as you've purchased it, if you want the money in your Portuguese account, we can move it there. If you need it sent to the real estate broker, the lawyer, which is what we always recommend, we can move the funds directly there. But if you've purchased in advance, you can leave your funds in your euro account with us until you want it sent, or you can hold sterling in your account with us and then choose to convert when you wish, and then we can transfer it over to Portugal, or when you give us the green light.
Sounds like Gary should just have a chat with you there and look and consider those options and pick the one he feels most comfortable with. There are yeses coming in as well. I think that's in relation to that question there. I thought we would only be talking for a few minutes, Ben, but it's always fascinating, especially this geopolitical stuff. And then when people start saying things like Pamela is here, not sure we'll ever see pre-Brexit levels of 132. I didn't think anybody saw 120 coming, did they? And that's just around the corner, perhaps. And look at this. 175 in the 90s.
Yeah,
Happy times for the Brits.
I must admit, I do remember when I was a lot younger going on holiday and seeing like 155, 160, 65 against the euro. They were the good old days. But look, never say never. Who knows what the next 5-10 years will unfold. I remember going, it was only 2007 maybe. I remember going over to America and we had 210 on the dollar.
Yeah, incredible, eh? And look at this. This is the very important question we haven't covered yet. Can I ask if deposits in Spartan are protected like banks?
So your funds are protected. They're in your own name, but differently to a bank, because we are not a bank. So the banks in the UK will cover you up to like £85,000 if the bank went bust. So if Barclays went bust, Lloyds went bust, etc., your funds are covered, but only up to 85,000 with each institution. So with us, we're not a bank. So your funds are held in your account with us by a tier 1 bank, so Barclays. So the only time you would have an issue is if Barclays went under while we were holding your funds for a short amount of time, which didn't happen in the financial crisis. I think a bank like Barclays would probably get bailed out by the government anyway. So the odds of it happening are probably in the millions or billions to one. But where you are very covered is that if anything was to happen to our company, your funds are in your account. It's classed as a client account. So they're segregated from our business account, and your funds are also segregated from every other single client. No two clients' funds are in the same accounts. So everything is segregated. So if anything ever happens, I'm assuming that you'd probably, and obviously it's never happened, so I don't know the exact method, but I would imagine you would be contacted because the funds are in your named account with us, and you would be asked, where do you want the funds sent to? They'd either be returned to the bank where they came from or moved on forward to the bank that you would give instructions to. But they would not get lost because they're not our funds, so they would not be taken, if that makes sense.
There you go. Comprehensive answer for you, Sabio, there in terms of protecting your money whilst it's with Spartan. And one more wafer thin question. Sorry, Ben, I know you've got to go and do some deals, I suspect, but one more if we may. Sorry for the US specific question. Do you know if US citizens have to file the FBAR every time they move their 10 grand or just once a year? It's so confusing, says Khadija.
I'm not an accountant, so you might want to get some professional advice on that. But as far as I understand, I think it's once a year. I don't think it's something you have to do every single time, but maybe some of your other listeners would know and would be able to tell her. But if she's unsure with anything like that, speak to maybe an accountant who specializes in that in the US, and they would be able to give you the answers. But not many of our clients really tell us a great deal as to what they file tax return wise and what they do. They use us obviously for the money exchange, and we hope and assume that they file everything correctly at a later date. But I believe it is only once a year. But please get some professional advice on that.
All right, and Jeff, finally, a comment for you is in the UK in the late 2000s, $2 for £1. Ouch!
Yeah.
Glad it was only a 3-week trip. Brings back memories, Ben. Sorry, there was another question earlier on. What about Bitcoin? And you may well say, Ben, what about Bitcoin? You don't.
Yeah.
It's a barge pole job for you guys, isn't it?
Yeah, but as I've mentioned it before, I know we always get asked a question. It's not a regulated industry, so it's not something that we can. We can't trade it. We don't really assist clients with it. But I had a quick look yesterday, and I think I saw it was like up at 61,000 again, or something along those lines.
Nice little rise in the last couple of days for sure.
Yeah, the volatility is crazy. So down to 35, back up to 50, back down to 45, up to 60.
53 today. I'm looking at it now on Coinbase. 53,451 currently.
Is that in sterling or dollars?
That's in euros. I beg your pardon.
That's in euros. Okay, fine. So yeah, a lot of the time I look at it, it's priced in dollars. But yeah, I've heard people saying it's going to go up to 100,000. I've heard people saying it's going to hit 1 million. So who knows?
Who knows?
If we knew it was going to hit 1 million, I think we'd all be piling in now, right?
We would, and some of us are, and they're the ones who may well be inviting us to Portugal to their holiday home in the Algarve, Ben, in the next few years. Ben, always great fun talking to you. Have a great day. Lots of love to everyone at Spartan FX today.
Thank you very much, and to you and your family, and thanks, listeners. Keep well. Have a great day.
Ciao, ciao. Have a good one. Bye for now. There he goes. Ben of Spartan FX, the famous Ben of Spartan FX. So have a chat with them if you're interested in moving money around. And we've got some satisfied customers here. Other transfer systems are available. Obviously, Wise was mentioned. And Pete, you were talking about Barclays there. Barclays have to be the worst bank we've ever used. Got more compensation for mistakes made by them than I ever had. Well, in that way, they're quite a good bank then, aren't they, for you? You've done well out of it. Great chatting to people in Mumbai, Dakar, and the Congo. I think you're talking about their customer service. With Spartan FX, what people say about the team there is you speak to people like Ben. I'm not sure if we could get a wise person, as in the company Wise. We have many wise people on this show, of course. But the great thing about them is you have a nominated account manager there, and you're dealing with real people, as we heard from with Ben there, and his holiday detail in Spain. So if you're delighted with his service, why not offer him and his missus and their 2 kids a nice little break in Portugal next time they're looking for a holiday. Fantastic. Consumer Tuesday on Expats Portugal's Good Morning Portugal show with me, Carl Munson. Let's rewind a little bit into the comments. We have pictures to show. Debbie, thank you very much for giving me permission to show this thing of beauty this morning. Here we have a Silver Coast picture. They are touring intensely around Portugal at the moment, and this is a shot from the Silver Coast. Look at the sunset yesterday, the red orb of the sun setting in the Silver Coast area yesterday. Same sun that's available everywhere else, but does it look as magnificent? Look at the colours there. That golden going to a dark horizon with the red ball of the sun and then the silver water. Absolutely beautiful. Thank you, Debbie, for giving me permission to show that. And thanks to everybody else who's sending pictures in. We will be talking, if time allows. Oh, yeah, we're only just coming up to 9:30. Fantastic. Let's sit back and relax after the intense talk of currency exchange. We're, of course, having a look at the Expats Choice. Expats Choice, Portugal.com, if you want to take part with some nominations and some voting on best banks, best phone companies, best kind of coffee, best beer. Add categories if you want to as well. All of that at expatschoiceportugal.com. And thank you, Victoria. Heronius Maximus. Michael Heron joins me on Ask Anything About Portugal Wednesday, first Wednesday of the month. His own question to everybody here was, where can I get a full English in Cascais or Lisboa? We came up with one yesterday. Thank you to Thunder for that. But also in the Algarve, if you fancy a break, look, the Irish Rover is selling the full shebang here. It's not Lisbon or Cascais, but I just wanted to mention this. €6, $9.50 in Lisbon, the full English yesterday. The full shebang at the Irish Rover with 2 sausages, 2 bacon, 2 egg, beans, pudding. I hope that's black pudding, not Yorkshire pudding or some other kind of pudding, spotted dick or something, your full shebang. Hash browns, tomatoes and toast. €6 there, and that's at the traditional Portuguese restaurant called the Irish Rover. With a downstairs cocktail bar and the upstairs restaurant. And what is that? Full music bar. What's a full music bar? Is it always full of people? But thank you for that, Victoria. Rewinding. We're rewinding on your pledges to speak and learn more Portuguese. So let's see where we got to in there, shall we? We're talking about coffee machines as well this morning here on Consumer Tuesday. And Mia's all-in-one course. Oh dear, it's been so long. We've lost a big swathe of comments. So Mia's all-in-one course. If you said something important before that came up, you might want to say it again and reassert yourself. Melanie is a realtor. Okay, Melanie, this is the mystery of Melanie. A mysterious Melanie is a realtor from Home Key, Portugal. She's a Dutch lady. Very nice. D7 application consultant charge, please tell. Okay, well, the application, the whole process, not sure, Rajiv, but we work with EI, with Gilda. Our news on Gilda after yesterday's show, where a few of us thought we might sort her out with a spa break. We'll come back to the virtual greetings card that you can sign in our forum. But Rajiv, I need a bit more information in that. Thought for the day. Look, I told you there were wise people here. Andrew, nice helmet, Gilchrist. Did you try turning it off and on again? And that applies to most appliances and relatives and various things around the house. Hi, hello, all. Good morning. One more day still here in England. All the best. So, Diogo, on the way back to Portugal, right? When a EIP only in Portuguese, it'll be funny, says Zay. What's that? This show in the morning, only in Portuguese. Well, I think we should definitely have some Portuguese programming. When Good Morning Portugal is part of a whole network or set of shows, Expats Portugal TV. Why not? Some of those should definitely be in Portuguese. James Holly, they quoted me €1, €2, €3. I think what you're talking about there, James, is EI's consultation step plan. But that doesn't include all the fees that will be payable to the government as well, or for the whole process. Just that's the initial part of it. Absolutely right, at €123. And that's included in our Expats Portugal plan as well, where you get additional help on all the areas we think you should know about when moving to Portugal. Have a look at that under courses on expatsportugal.com. William is here. William Ogilby, bon dia from a rainy Coleraine. Not getting to Portugal now until January, but getting excited now. Not far now, is it? Not long now, William. And love the show, Carl. Thank you very much, William. And who's that? Who's that lovely dog in the picture there? And I think we've sorted Rajiv out. That's fantastic. Sir, I'm from India. Please, your contact number and email ID. Which documents are required? Look, Rajiv, thing to do. I will give you a link now in the comments to take you to EI, okay? And there you will find all the help you need. I am not the expert on this. I am merely a signposter, a helper, possibly a Sherpa on your journey towards Portugal. So that's going in the comments right now, my friend. So please have a chat with EI, and that's in the comments now. And no, Carl, don't buy a coffee machine. Go to a local cafe and meet the locals. You see, he's got a good point there, hasn't he? How many of you do have the plastic pod coffee maker at home, and would you recommend it, and which one? I'm just so on the edge. The other pods don't come close to Nespresso, unfortunately. Okay, so Francis, and he knows his coffee, does this man? So it's the Nespresso machine as far as he's concerned. They seem to have nailed it, and it's a perfect cuppa every time. I don't have a coffee machine. I just drink coffee out in cafes, so it's much nicer. I tend to agree with you, Pamela. I guess it depends on how many of those you drink a day. I don't really want to be drinking more than one coffee a day, 2 max. And I imagine if I had one of those pod machines at home, I might be going up to 3 or 4. Like, oh, go on then, just another one. I'm really not sure. Yes, says Eusebio, the cafe is the center of all Portuguese life. And I'm sure there are Portuguese people who think that those things are the work of the devil, actually, that making coffee at home. What's wrong with you? Carl, if you do taxes in Portugal, you need to keep the receipts for at least 5 years. So you need to keep the receipts as well. I mean, I have been. I have a big box full of them. So it's the same here as it seems to be in most places. Finances might do a check within that time. Even with digital things, you still need paper proof. Oh, I always throw away my receipts. Sure hope I didn't need to save them. Too late now. She to not bother with the NIF. Okay. I'm not sure strictly speaking, you can't not bother with a NIF. It is your responsibility to appropriately reimburse the government as a taxpayer here in the country, as a resident, Tina. But I'm not exactly sure what you're referring to there. Oh no, is that about your receipts that are all now macerated or otherwise deceased? Stephen, oh, what? Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought you were talking a foreign language here that I didn't understand. It's a type of coffee machine. It's a Lapafoni. Ora piccola, ora piccola, hand pulled espresso for Stephen Wells. You knew that was going to happen, Stephen, didn't you? So it looks as though on rising in the morning, nothing starts the day better than a bit of hand pulling from Stephen's point of view. Maria, good morning from tomorrow. Oh, so we didn't lose too many comments. That's because we saw this one earlier on, didn't we? I have yet to give my NIF number on any personal purchase. Come on, Maria, tell us when that magical moment happens. My NIF is saved on my grocery cards. Is that good enough? Well, I'm not sure what that means. Grocery cards, what are they? Thunderduck, only the receipts you enter on tax, not every single receipt. Oh, okay. So clarification there. The ones you claim for and verify through the portal, you need to keep those as your paper record. Okay, receipts. The answers are coming in. No sooner have we introduced this new feature of Ask Our Expats. Sorry, Pam, I'll just take your comment off for a moment and I'll put it back on. But look, ask the people who live here, and other expats are available. This is just, I couldn't put too many on this. I will make another slide and we'll give you other expats who we can put these questions to. But there they are. It's a new feature. Ask Our Expats question in the comments now. And I asked one and we're already getting a reply on that. So thank you very much indeed. And here's an answer from Pam, far left of your screen there. And let me just take that back off there. Yeah, receipts. I think officially you're supposed to keep them. Anna will know for sure. They are automatically logged on your finances account. That's if you gave your NIF number, of course, but you are meant to check that they are assigned to the correct category. There's a certain date in the year that you have to do this by. There you go. So that's the verification, the ratification of the receipts whereby you gave your NIF number in the shop. And sometimes you have to do that for certain purchases, don't you? Like big electrical items and cars and so on. Thank you, Pam, for that. Bon dia to you all from Gary, loving Mia's Portuguese lessons online. So I think I lost the comments where people were saying that they had or hadn't done their 15. We'll get you sooner tomorrow. Hola, bon dia from Capricorn 12. Hola, bon dia, alegria. In fact, Jazz Funk track of the day is the Fatback Bands I Found Loving. What a tune. What an anthem. That will bring back so many memories for people. That is so beautiful. And Mine or Mine by Cameo has a similar ring to it, doesn't it, Capricorn 12? The Lando helmet is my icon from my work Google login. Yes, I'm a nerd. Forgive me, I'm not, it would appear, and I don't know what a Lando helmet is. Have you pranked me there in some way, or is that a legit thing, Andy? I will do my 15 on the beach later today after a cliffside trot. Check it out. Life is so good. I think you were poo-hooing a winter of discontent. Not here, prior to Rocha, I think you said in another comment, Victoria. That's either gone or we'll come to it again in just a moment. Thunderduck, not sure what you mean by groceries cards. Me neither, Elra, but needs to be a receipt with the NIF and the total of the purchase made. Yes, for the verification inside the portal. I think we're going to have to do more work on this. It's a lot of confusion for people with this, isn't there? This has been part of your 15 a day, linguistic fruit and fiber. Yes, whatever it takes, right? Love my illustrated Portuguese dictionary. Do you carry it everywhere? Because that'll be extra weight training while you're doing your growing old, disgracefully grey watch workout every day, Victoria. Dougie's here. Hello, everyone. I do my 15 minutes in Duolingo. Very good, Doug. And a very distinguished picture there, sipping on a nice glass of wine there. I think that's a very beautiful picture of you, Doug. And thanks for everything recently, Doug. Really appreciate you, my friend. I think Duolingo is Brazilian Portuguese. I've heard this said. Do check. Not the same. European and Brazilian, of course. Bon dia, Ben from Jim White. Jim, happy customer. I used the Memrise app for my daily 15 as I woke up earlier today. I did 30ish. Very good, Matty. Yes, mate. Si, amigo. It's part of the 15 minutes. Just take 5 minutes every day and part of the 15 minutes. So 5 minutes por dia. I don't know what you mean there, Diogo, but I'm going to say "sim" as well to that, and thank you for that. For Portuguese, a nice way to learn is to watch YouTube videos. Yes, there's lots of resources now. I share them in my Facebook group and YouTube channel of the same name. Pamela, why did I not know about this, or did I? And did I forget? But look at this Facebook group, European Portuguese. Sign up there with Pamela. Fantastic. Another resource. You can't have too many Portuguese language resources, can you? How do we send in some contribution for Gilda's gift? Well, let's take a little pit stop for that for the moment. And I will tell you exactly how you can do that. There's a link in our, if I can find it, let me have a look. Recent posts I'm looking for, aren't I? So that you can sign Gilda's virtual greeting card. Where is it? I'm figuring out how to use my own forum here. Recent post. There we go. Quite hard to do this live and in the headlights. Okay. Gilda. Okay, here we go. Thank you, Gilda. Please sign our virtual greetings card. And already lots of lovely messages coming in. And so let me put this into context for you, just in case you weren't here yesterday morning. And if you want to sign the virtual greetings card, the link is going in the comments now. And of course, Gilda was here with us yesterday. I'm basically talking about how knackered she was, what with everything, the pandemic, Seth, and everything going on. And James, there, look, your lovely comment that you sent to her. And so I started a thread inside our forum, whereupon I said, if you saw the Good Morning Portugal show this morning, you'll have seen our friend and associate Gilda Pereira coming straight from the heart about where she is 7 years into helping thousands of people as the first migration agency in Portugal, EI. Or A, as she pronounces it. So many of you in this community appreciated her and her team's hard work in challenging times, contending with the pandemic and subsequent governmental restrictions and delays. We're arranging a surprise treat for Gilda. I hope she's not watching. As many of you suggested, so please add your messages of goodwill and best wishes right here in the forum. And I've given you the link for that just now, which we would add to the greetings card if we could, but we'll share them with her instead on the morning show soon. So maybe next Monday, I'll bring a few of these to her and I'll send them to her as well. Gilda says, Alex, you're such a unique character, passionate about helping others, change many lives for the better. I wish you the best. Be sure there are so many people thankful for what you do. And he adds a beautiful Fernando Pessoa, a poem, Valeu a pena, tudo vale a pena. Se a alma não é pequena, quem quer passar além do bojador, tem que passar além da dor. Deus ao mar, o perigo e o abismo deu, mas nela é que espelho é seu. Which I did translate yesterday, and it is a poem of great fortitude. Like nothing ventured, nothing gained. And this is what we know and love about Gilda. She's a big-hearted woman. Gilda, says Eric, congratulations on the 7-year anniversary. My wife and I used your great company last October to assist in obtaining our NIFs and bank account. We can't wait to engage with EI again when we're ready to go through the D7 process. You are clearly committed to your clients through your tireless work in helping each as an individual. If Christina is any indication, you're also extremely skilled in attracting the right kind of people to carry out your vision. And on it goes. Thank you, Gilda. We appreciate all your caring and dedication. And people are sending me messages, how can we help get Gilda a spa break? So thank you all for that. And do go into the forum and add a message to her, and we'll make sure that she gets them. Okay. So that's the answer to your question there, Gary. We're organizing a gift for her. Feel free just to add a message to the greetings card, but obviously you can find out where she is and you can send her your own gift as well if you so wish. T34. Wonder what that means, Jim. I don't recognize that. Were you entering your password and logging in somewhere else? No! A consumer question. What are the best places to shop for a sofa, recliners, and a desk? I mean, I've got to say, IKEA is the go-to. It tends to be, doesn't it? But Jean is a worthwhile competitor to the, I was going to say the erstwhile. I don't even know what that means, but it's such a good word, isn't it? The erstwhile IKEA. Please let me know what erstwhile means in the comments. And Jean, Portuguese company, Portuguese shop chain, Jean. JOM. And sometimes they do a promotion, Thunder, where they don't charge you the EVA, the VAT, and you get a nice 23% discount at times of the year. Ian managed an hour of duo yesterday and a little memrise. Was also watching a lovely series on the Beeb. Lolo's Pembrokeshire, my mum's home patch. How lovely to find out about your ancestry that way with an entertaining little bit of TV. Tina, where can I find the link to Mia's lessons? Oh my goodness, I'm going back into the business directory now, and I'll take care of that for you, Tina. You can sign up for Mia's basic free course right here. I think you maybe have to go to one of our perks. In our perks and freebies section. So yeah, that's what I'll do. I'm going to give you the link to that. They are premium member benefits, and I think you can sign up. You don't have to be a premium member. You can sign up for Mia's free course anyway. But why not look at becoming a premium member? That's in the comments now, and you can sign up for a free course, and you can get a discount on our courses via us as well. Okay, let's go, Brandon. That's pretty hilarious. That was whilst we were talking about Biden. I think that was something that Thunder contributed to the mix. Carl, I'm not into coffee pod machines. I make a large pot first thing in the morning, and then tell Carl you can't hear him and watch what happens. I buy local in North Belfast, small independent family business at Works Coffee 18. Smell and taste, and I suppose yes, that's where the coffee pod machines really can't compete. You get a nice crema on those machines, don't you? They figured out how to do the pressure. But of course, freshly ground beans made in your own large pot or done on the coffee on the cooker top in one of those Italian type machines, or an old cafetiere even, or hand pulled, as Mr. Wells likes it in the morning. I also use the Drops app. I like it for vocabulary. Thank you for that. I hear a lot of good things about Drops. Elra to Thunder, that I know of those cards don't replace the receipts. Don't know if expats have different options for taxes that I'm not aware of. I only know of my own experience. Tuesday. Okay, I'm out. Work is knocking on my door. Well, you gave us a good go. Have a great day and see you next time. Cheers, Maddie. Have a good one, mate. I also keep receipts for appliances and large purchases, but not groceries and restaurants. I will going forward. There's another thing to buy, a filing cabinet. Where is the pound against the historical average? Sorry, Eusebio, I missed that while Ben was on, obviously. See you, Maddie. Peace out, Maddie. I like Liz. Liz talks. I like Liz. I like Liz talks the streets and memories. I also listen to Portuguese radio. Don't understand much, but words pop out. Yeah, it's a really good idea, Deagle. And it's tuning my ear to the speed of local speaking. Very good tip, that. I must check in with Liz. Liz talk. That's the woman who goes around having actual conversations, isn't it? And if anyone's got a link for that, stick it in the comments. Good morning, all. Wish you a wonderful day. Cheers, Nuno, and thank you for your offer to come and speak to the gang on Thursday. Really appreciate that. I love Spartan FX. Yep. Carl. Oh, yes, the price of materials. Okay, so we're covering some ground previously covered. Surfing the COVID. That is what's going to be going on as we go into winter, it would seem. And let's scroll past I thought that was hilarious, Thunder. Buy a popsicle. That would be a nice lolly for some of us from other cultures, and get 25 euros worth of free lumber. That would be timber from other cultures. And I did ask about Bitcoin with Ben, but it's not something that they touch. David Blanchflower says that a rate rise would be a mistake and would be reversed very quickly. Pete, I thought exactly the same thing. I thought of Danny Blanchflower, and we're on the same page with that. No winter of discontent at the beach. There's that comment. No winter of discontent here, and no discontent with the lovely Alpha Andrew or in Victoria's sunny Vista, adds Pete. There you go. Wasn't he a Spurs player in the 1960s? And Eusebio answering to that. Impressive thing is that he's been dead since 1993, but no. And people agreeing with Ben, I think they're on the planning ahead. So let's scroll past those. And apart from to say, yeah, test exchanges. If you are worried about transferring a big amount of money, then do a test exchange first to make sure you've got all those numbers in the right place. All those 322 IBAN numbers that you have to get in the right order, obviously. Okay. So we checked on that as well. I thought Ben's answer to that was pretty good. Pete on Barclays. What about Hyperfund? I don't know. What about Hyperfund? I'm not sure what that means, Gemini. Can you give us a bit more on that? I've scrolled past too far. No, oh my goodness. Where were we? Let's get back to Gemini. Agree Barclays is the worst bank. But what are you going to do about it? You see, I had this thought yesterday, Gemini, about banks. And I will go back to your... Oh, yeah, okay, that's where we were. What about Hyperfund? I don't know because I don't know what you mean. Please explain. And the funny thing, if somebody insults your family, you respond to it, don't you? If someone insults your bank, and if somebody insults banks, they don't do anything about it. They don't get upset today. It's like, yeah, well, we're banks. Of course people don't like us. What happened? How is it? And maybe governments are the same, aren't they? It's like they're beyond the same levels of, is it reproach and analysis and criticism that most of the rest of humanity find themselves in. Like, you get criticized, you think, oh, maybe we should do something about this. Unless, of course, you're a government or a bank or certain other institutions where it's just like water off a duck's back. It just occurred to me yesterday. How is it that people can be so critical, like we are this morning, like Pete is, like Gemini is, terrible bank, and nothing changes at all because they don't care, they don't need to care. It doesn't matter to them what your opinion is because we're stuck in the habit of using them, are we not? Okay. Let's have a look. So we did Hyperfund. There's still so many comments pouring in at the bottom end there and pushing the comments up so fast that I can hardly cope with them. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to have a sip of mineral water and take a breath. In a green bottle, as you can see there, which is not reacting very well with my green screen. This is a bargain. Campillo, 25 cents a bottle of beautiful sparkling mineral water, which I'm going to enjoy now. Bear with me. Oh, that was good. That was refreshing. Okay, so where were we? With Gemini and Hyperfund, whatever that is. And I'm not sure I do know what that is. And she may well explain, and she might not. She doesn't like Barclays either. Spartan feels like family. Beautiful sunset. Yes, that was the beautiful sun. Let's show that again, shall we? Stop talking about banks and let's look at sunsets again. Let's not upset ourselves. That is a beauty. That is an absolute beauty. And thank you, Debbie, for that one. And I know I've got other pictures to include before the end of the show this morning. So thank you very much for that, Debbie. And beautiful. I'd look away for 10 seconds, and the comments have moved again. I hope Joe Biden serves a long term as president of the US. I'll get a better exchange rate for my pounds. Well, that's what matters, right, William? It is beachside live music nightly. Okay, so that was the Irish bar there. It's olive season, says Nigel. Best practices, please. Sod the coffee machines. Nice cup of tea, Earl Grey, big mug, yummy. Okay, very Portuguese. There, big cup of Earl Grey or a big mug of Earl Grey in the morning. My coffee machine is called Café Rocia de Palma. What sort is it though, Thunder? And Ree is here. Hello, Ree. Haven't seen you for ages. How are you, love? We love our Keurig. Don't know if you have those in Portugal. That's a coffee machine as well, I would think. Ew! Nigel Henry, coffee's all the way over. Sorry, coffee all the way and over here at 80 cents. And with fabulous locals and a touch of aguardente, you will never go back to tea. Sounds like Pete's gone to the dark side, as in the coffee. No coffee maker. We go local. Hubby does use the occasional Italian metal stovetop thingy for an espresso. See, I'm liking this. I think I'm going to go cafe in the cafe. And not get a machine the way things are going this morning. Carl, only Portuguese that live in Portugal. Those of us living abroad need an espresso. Oh, okay. So those machines are bought as presents by Portuguese people to send abroad so that others don't have to suffer. Coffee press is very nice. You can make it as strong as you want and no power needed, just boil water. Okay, so that's one of those devices that I thought came from Ann Summers the other day. It's actually a coffee machine. If I drink as much coffee as I do exclusively in a coffee shop, I may not have money to move. Different in South Africa, right? I love the cafe vibe and always support and buy my beans from them, and only Nespresso in emergencies. Well, there you go. Cheers, Francis. And you don't have to defend your coffee drinking habits, but it's true, isn't it? In the UK, South Africa, America, I think coffee is not as good value as it is because I think it's a nationalized thing almost in Portugal. Like Pete says, 80 cents for a coffee, unheard of elsewhere. Sorry, spelling. When do you give NIF and when is there no need? Supermarket versus furnishing shop. Well, Tina, to qualify for your allowances, you need to give it in every one of the areas where there where there are government allowances for such things. So that would be the supermarket, that would be furnishings, that would be the car mechanics, that would be the vets. And to find this out, get yourself a fiscal representative or go to Finances and get the login to the portal, and you will see exactly what we're talking about. And I think expats, ask our expats team, Thomas, if you're watching, we do need to do a special on this. I have done a little video on going into the Finances portal, but I think we need to do it again. Grocery cards. Anna from Qashqai, she once explained that the chain stores add your NIF to your store discount card. Okay, got it. Is Wharton the best place for electronics? It's worth looking. It's worth looking. There's also Radio Popular, but I quite like Wharton, and I know Leclerc have a good electronics section too. Mate, for real, all the money you pay for the machine and the packs, just going to meet in the pasteleria, you're all better and meet the locals. Okay, it's done. I'm not going to get a machine. You've talked me out of it. I like Wharton and MediaMarkt. Fnac, not so much. Agree with you, Thunder. I like going into the Fnac store. The experience, the vibe, the ambiance is nice, but I'm not too keen on their prices in there. US dollars, Bitcoin 62,000. Mate, it's had a right old spike, isn't it? Carl, you are making your own jokes up there. Isn't that just every morning? Stephen Wells, how can I find Mia? Okay, I think you'll have found the perks and benefits link in the comments now. That's a place to find Mia. And of course, you can find her on the last Friday of the month or the fourth Friday. We still haven't sorted out that confusion around that. But she joins us live on the fourth or last Friday of the month, Tina. So you can speak to her then. My coffee is fancy. I'm not. Is that a dating profile? Douglas from Khadija, Duolingo is Brazilian. Run away! It makes him sound... I know it's hard to believe, but it makes Doug sound even sexier when he's talking Brazilian Portuguese. Mate, the money you spend... Okay, we got that. 2-in-1. Best to go to the cafe. I'm with you now. Please make sure you expats don't drink all the Portuguese wine before I get there. That's a really good point, and thank you for making it, Tina. Did you hear that, everybody? They're not going to take any notice. Just found a really good Portuguese translation app called Say Hi, but obviously our lessons with Philomena are the best. Cheers, Pete. Great resources, everyone, this morning. Are you going to pledge to do 15 minutes if you haven't done already? Please do, and we'll ask you again in the morning. Well, we're asking you every morning until I forget to ask you every morning. Can we have a morning of store cards on how to claim voucher claiming and which supermarkets? I have Leroy Merlin card for NIF, but does it have offers too? Also, Maxmart. I didn't like the look of Maxmart when I went there. So I think that's got to be a webinar, isn't it, Nigel? A Thursday night webinar when we'll go back into the supermarkets and extend that to other shops like Jom, like Fnac, like that other one we were just talking about, whose name? Wharton, and Leroy and Maxmart. I think that's a Thursday night. Mark Rigby here, the CEO of IKEA, has become the president of Sweden. He's still putting together his cabinet. Wahey! It's only a joke, everybody. Don't go around saying, isn't that amazing how the CEO of IKEA has just become the Swedish president. He only said that to make that joke, and it's a fine joke. Thank you very much. Dad joke du jour from Mark Rigby there in Pavor Devaji. Just so you know, everybody, again, duo is Brazilian Portuguese, all right? So that's a really good point of order for everybody learning Portuguese. Not saying don't do it, but be aware of what you're getting yourself in for there. Those coffee pod machines create so much unneeded trash. It's sad that they are so popular, says Natalie Gray. Notwithstanding the efforts they are making, but I accept your point there, Natalie. Deagle, my company called the Works Brothers need to try Works Coffee. Hope you're feeling better. How about that? Can we send some of that coffee over to South Africa? From Deagle to Francis. That'd be a nice little photo to share. My cat, little buddy, special greeting to the GMP community. Oh, okay. Excellent. So your cat is trying to type out a message for the humans. T34. T34, everybody. Is it the winning lottery number? The cat is trying to speak to us. Little buddy is trying to communicate. Banks and government have no shame, therefore criticism means little to them. Isn't it amazing, though, Stephen, that the idea that certain institutions are beyond caring about what people think? Does that bottle have a deposit on it, Carl? No, I don't think it does. It's a bit of eco-shaming going on there, Eusebia. I don't think it does, and I will recycle it down the end of the street. You have my word for that. Talk the streets. That's Liz, isn't it? Thank you for that, Pam. I think the other half would get upset if the local waitress was in bed with us with a coffee. That's not how it works. You have to go to the cafe. You can't ring them up and ask the local waitress to come and join you in bed with a coffee. That's not. You're going to give expats a bad name like that, honestly, Nigel. Cafe Rocio de Palma is my local shop. There you go. Nicely done, Thunder. So no machines there. Get out of the house. Go to the local. That's the way to doing it. We go every morning and obviously getting known, and you probably get your usual in there, don't you? You only think that. I'd have hoped that would be a no. Yes, quite. Fiona, I'm not a coffee drinker, but do want to cry when I see people buying dozens of those tube boxes of coffee pods in supermarkets. All of those single-use bits of plastic. Ugh. Well, they get made into roads, don't they, later on? At least in the cafes, coffee is made without plastic pods. Yes, and a lot of coffee grounds are recycled now, aren't they? I know that the lovely Shimajito people over in Fundao, they have a collection of coffee grounds as a medium for growing mushrooms in. No shaming, only kidding with you, Eusebio. No shaming, just curious. Used to be a big thing in Portugal. I'm just a little bit sensitive, aren't I? But yeah, I don't think I've bought a single bottle here that's got a deposit on it. I think the way of things here is to take it down to the recycling and for those wine drinkers, some of them like to do it under the cover of darkness, which they put in their 50 wine bottles into the glass recycling area, which was me a few months ago, of course. Okay, I wanted to show some remaining photographs as we go up to 10 o'clock. In Brazil, you can buy bags and do it at home. Café de Saco, coffee of the bag. What is that, like wine boxes? That sounds interesting. But we're not going to go there right now. What we're going to do is see who's been sending in pictures. Do you know what? I think what we might have to do is end with Khadijah's quick video of the neighbor outside. Let me just see if this neighbor's got any clothes on before I share it with you. Oh yes, that has to be shared, Khadijah. I hope that's all right with you. Those bells, the naked neighbor with a bell around his neck. We'll share that in just a moment. Maybe I should start a coffee shop. You should. That's the business for you when you come to Portugal, Francis. So I'm going to show that as well. People's coffee, it used to be pussies and pooches, didn't it? Now people are sending in pictures of their coffee machines. What a bizarre program this is. And a couple of pictures of Alpha, talking of pooches. Oh, we got to show that one. That's fantastic. Yes, please. We're going to save the Expats Choice Portugal. We're going to forget about banks. They've caused an upset enough, haven't they, for people this morning? And we've got a lovely picture of a Lagos. I think that's a sunrise this morning, isn't it? Yes, it is. This morning sunrise from Lagos. So we must share that with you. So let me share all of those with you. And we'll hold on the Expats Choice Portugal survey for the time being. We can always come back to that, can't we? Because I've got some lovely photographs to share with you now. Here is the Lagos sunrise this very morning from Joe, who's down there. Isn't that beautiful? Oh, for those of you who are feeling a bit of saudade and can't wait to be back in Portugal, or indeed the Algarve, that is for you. Isn't that beautiful? Here's a different ray of sunshine. There's Alpha, Andy's dog. What a beautiful picture. Fantastic. And I think of you every time I get a poo bag out for my dogs, which are small and medium sized. I think of you and your Great Dane, Andy, and that will be Alpha there. Incoming pictures of people's coffee machines now, folks, in Belfast and in South Africa. So first off, Belfast, there's the Eagles coffee machine and some of the freshly ground coffee that he buys from the establishment that he mentioned. And over there in South Africa, look at that. Look at that setup. That's someone's house. That's Francis's house. Coffee grinder and pressure machine there inside his kitchen, not a cafe. Quite extraordinary. Have we got any more pictures this morning? You've blessed me with some super pics this morning. I think we're up to date on the pictures. It's the video that I want to show you now. We'll go out with this from Khadijah, Rebel Mama's window this morning. The naked neighbor with a bell round their neck. Look away now if you don't want to be possibly offended by this. And we'll see you tomorrow for Ask Anything About Portugal Wednesday. You take care now. Enjoy this. Ciao, ciao.